Good morning. Welcome to the Women Talk Construction podcast, where today we are going to be interviewing that masonry girl. We're really excited about having her on the podcast today. And it's a beautiful day. We have just recently seen football season. So if you're watching on YouTube, you will see that I have footballs all over my sweater. Really excited about fall and excited about football. And today, Angela Gardner's with me, my co-host. I am back. It's been a couple months since I've gotten to record. I missed a few due to some family things that were going on. So I appreciate all those that were praying for me and my family during that time. And really appreciate Angela and Alex stepping up while I was gone. So thanks, Angela, for being here with me today. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very
Good.
I'm excited
Good.
about our next guest.
I really am excited about it too. She's a young lady who has made a big impact on students all over the country with her Instagram page, That Masonry Girl. So I'm excited to introduce her and also just talk about the skilled trades and why masonry is so important for us to be engaging with all the generations about possibly getting into the field. So let's just start right off by saying, first of all, welcome, Ashton. We're so glad that you're here.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Awesome. I didn't even call you by your name because you're that masonry girl. Does that happen when you go to the grocery store too?
Yeah. Everybody knows me by that masonry girl at events, and I'm just like, I don't think most people even know my name, but that's okay. I'm that masonry girl.
Well, her name is Ashton Fairchild for all of you listening, and we love her and what she's doing to encourage others to be in the masonry field. So you've built a strong presence on Instagram, obviously, if they're calling you that at the grocery store too. What strategies do you think work best for reaching young people and getting them excited about the careers in masonry and in the trades?
I really think reaching the young people can be a lot of things. I know that Instagram has helped me reach them, but also with my job, I go into the high schools and connect with their CTE directors, their teachers, and I get connected directly with the students. So like any sort of event that the high school has for outreach and just, the typical job fairs and stuff is really the best way to get into the schools and get into the programs and speaking to those students. And that's what I do, but go a little bit further than the job fairs. I actually do my own events. So that's really what I think is the best.
Awesome. So you do your own events. Tell us just a little bit more about that.
So my own events can be anything from like a personal training with students that are wanting to compete in SkillsUSA, the BrickLayer 500, anything like that, like small, personal to like large scale competitions or big events where I get multiple schools to come to a location. We have different contractors and suppliers to help out with the events. We're doing bricklaying, block laying, mortar spreading. They're learning how to set up scaffolding. It's a whole bunch of things. So it can be something very small to something very large.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, so impressive. So impressive. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
I like that. We might need you to come back to the Carolinas.
That's what I'm
some
thinking
of that.
too, actually.
We'll talk later. I want to open this next question up with, so my dad's in residential. He's an architect, and he has built a few of our homes. So we always helped in some way, but in the last home, we actually helped. I got to help the mason and the painter. And so this next question for you is, it made a big impact on me because I got to work with this gentleman, see how, he had to be 90. But he was so cool, and he was so patient with me, and he showed me even how to like do the line mark. I know there's probably a special name for that once you lay the brick and it
like
squishes out.
And everything.
Yes, the tooling.
Mortar joints, yeah.
Yes. It was just a really good experience. I got to see how he did it, his craft, and it made an impression on me. So my question for you is, why do you believe it's so important for skilled professionals to take the time to teach their craft? And how has mentorship or allyship shaped your own journey in construction?
I think it's important for, industries and people to get out there and teach the next generation, because our trade is dying, at least the masonry trade and a lot of other trades, just because there's a lot of people that are retiring and they're just, or getting out of the field or anything like that. And the average age of like a trade worker nowadays is like, lowest is like 30s. All right. We're talking like mid 30s plus. And like the average like field worker usually is, I would say, in like the 50s. So, we're not getting that many people into the trade that's young, that are in their 20s, unless they're like in the office, maybe like, as a secretary, or maybe some people are hiring project managers right out of college. That's great. But like, we need people that are in the field, like actually doing the work. So I think that's important to pass that on, because if not, our trade's going to die. And then we're just going to be at a loss of people.
Yeah.
And then I think mentorship, just just feeding knowledge into the next generation is so impactful, just because I took a class in high school. That's how I started.
Yeah.
So my mentor was my teacher. He pushed me to be better. He always, was right in my corner and everything like that. But without that, I wouldn't be where I am today, because of Mr. Harrington at West Raritan High School.
I love that. So I have to admit, in the 7th grade, I took a shop class, and that's why I fell in love with wood. And I've been in the construction industry. You may not know much about me, Ashton, but excuse me, I've been selling building materials for like 30 years, but I just fell in love with it, really. I mean, I loved shop class. I was the only female in there, but that was just going to be the future, my future, the only female everywhere kind of thing.
Right.
So speaking of females everywhere, so let me ask you this. It's a lot different than what it was 30 years ago. There are more women. You do see more women when you look around. So tell us a little bit about if you've had any barriers because you're a female in the industry. I didn't feel like it was something I concentrated on. So to me, there were no barriers, right? And it was just because I wanted to do it. I liked what I did, and I was just going for it, and I didn't care what anybody was saying. But have you faced any barriers? And if you have, because the general population does believe that there are a lot of barriers for women in the trades. So if you haven't, or if you have, can you tell our audience what are those barriers? How do you get past those barriers?
I feel like whenever I first started out, I didn't really have any barriers. Like, everybody was in my corner. All of the guys that I worked with at Gates Construction in Mooresville, like, they were so helpful and so knowledgeable, and there was nothing I couldn't do.
Nice.
I didn't have any barriers there. I could go and talk to them about, hey, I want to do this, and they'd be like, okay, perfect, let's put you on this.
Nice.
But I feel like recently, like, with job, sometimes I've applied for something that I didn't get, and it was like to somebody that was older and more like has more experience in the trades, and it was like an older man, and I'm like, I have all the qualities, like everything that you're looking for. I'm like the perfect candidate, but I think it's because I'm young and I'm a woman that they didn't want to hire me. So I don't know. I don't feel like I faced that many barriers, other than like a few things here and there.
So opportunity. So what will you do now? Like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna shift your mindset for the next time that you apply and you feel like maybe that might be a road, like a barrier for you? So is there something you've thought through and decided, okay, I'm going to try this again and I'm going to make it this time, or I've got a plan this time? I'm just curious.
Yes and no. I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like, if I apply for something and I don't get it, even if I do think there's like some underlying things, then it just wasn't in God's plan for me.
I like that.
So I kind of look at that way, like, I applied for this job, I didn't get it. That's just his plan. He didn't want me in that.
Right.
So he wants me where I am right now. So That's
He
the way
saves
I
us
look
from
at it.
ourselves, doesn't he, sometimes?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it, but I know everybody doesn't look at it that way.
No.
But I have, other people looking out for me, and there's, it's just going to happen the way that it is.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's a bummer that you don't get stuff, but sometimes if you don't get it, it's a blessing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
In disguise.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Angela understands that.
yeah, I think we all do. But
Yeah.
I have it throughout my career, I've been blessed with not as many
Mhm.
challenges, and I don't want to see other women face them
Right.
Yeah.
because there are ceilings for us.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah. Okay. Now we're going to talk about something. We're going to talk about competitions again. And that
Woo!
was so much fun what you shared with us before. So we're going to elaborate on that a little bit more. Is you've been involved in some incredible events like SPEC Mix BrickLayer 500 and the World of Concrete, which is incredible, I hear. And eventually maybe Christina and I can
I
attend
would
it
love to
someday.
do that.
I think there's a lot of events we'd like to attend, but
Mhm.
how do these competitions impact the industry, and what role do they play in inspiring the next generation of tradespeople?
They are so inspirational. That's literally like competitions is how I got into the industry. Like what sparked my initial interest in taking that class in high school was competitions. I went to SkillsUSA and I was watching that contest and I was like, wow, this is really cool. I don't see a whole lot of women, but like I could do this, and that's how
Yeah.
I got into it. The SPEC Mix BrickLayer 500, I've never personally done it, but I know people that have in the industry that are young and a lot of other people, but like it's so awesome to see in person. I've done anything at that contest from social media all the way to being an MC. So I
Oh,
like know everything about this contest. It's so awesome, but it's just like getting the next generation learning because going to those contests and getting like the Junior Bricklayer 500 is for high school students and apprentices. So they have that, and then they have the journeyman whenever you graduate from apprentice to going to journeyman. So it's really fun because they're like a lot of people are competitive. So
They
why
are.
not make a bricklaying contest for people who, are competitive and want to get into that? So I think they're awesome.
do
That's
they
cool.
know you, the kids, when do they know you beforehand when you're like emceeing or any of these
A lot of the
events?
times, yeah.
Okay, so they know you from Instagram, right?
Yes, but
Maybe.
also their teachers know me. So then they like I've had multiple
Bring you
teachers
in.
say that they've pulled my Instagram up and been like, "Y'all go follow that masonry girl."
Okay, so I want to point out to all the companies listening,
Yes.
Instagram matters for the next
Mhm.
generation. You need to be on it,
For
right?
sure. Yes.
Ashton, you just made that point. Okay.
So, speaking of the next generation and all the things that are going on in the trades right now, there's so many organizations that are supporting masonry and the trades. Which ones have you seen that have made the biggest difference in your journey? And how can we get others involved in those to strengthen our industry?
My biggest one off the top of my head, the biggest, most impactful organization is SkillsUSA because that's where
Nice.
I started. I started competing there and just went up, and I even competed in college, and that's how I became the two-time national champion for masonry at SkillsUSA post-secondary.
Nice.
Yes, so
Yay.
yay! Yeah, that's how I got into it, and it's been, like I said, so impactful.
Hmm.
There's also like SPEC Mix because they do the BrickLayer 500.
Yeah.
I partner with Stabila because it's German, the Level Company, and they have a True Pro Ladies program where they
Nice.
promote women in the trades. They're super awesome. I know I'm probably forgetting a lot of companies. I know
That's
Acme
okay.
is
It's
helpful,
okay. But those
but
are the two that you're thinking of that are really making an impact for you, and that's really what matters. Not that there's a lot more out there, right?
yeah, I
That are
mean,
doing good work.
right. I mean, there's a lot out there that like, help us, especially like with my job, going to schools and providing materials and everything like that. Yeah.
And
then,
that's
like,
really important,
It
providing
is.
materials, right?
It
yeah,
is.
because that's like, even in schools, that's like, a lot of people don't just get tools, or
Yes.
tools or materials donated, and we do both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the schools don't even have to worry about, you know, getting the materials for me to come and do a training. I get all those set up and go straight to their school, and we start laying some bricks. So
Nice.
yeah.
I love it. So if we wanted you to come to Charlotte, North Carolina, would you come do that for a school if we had the opportunity?
I would definitely do that. I would be on
That's
that.
amazing.
So fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Angela, you heard it.
Or to
Audience
teach,
heard it.
or
Yeah.
to teach them to compete, right?
Yeah, there's that. Yeah,
And
that'd be great
There's an
too.
organization, the North Carolina Masonry Contractors Association, that does basically what I do in Texas.
Oh,
There's a
very
lot of
cool.
organizations, like Tennessee has one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of states have them. Okay. But, we know you.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for all of that. There was one more question I was going to ask you, and it's literally escaped my brain.
Yeah, we
We'll
have
come back
time.
later after we're done.
We do.
Well,
No,
you know what? Why don't we ask her, like, what advice would you give? And you can think about your question, Christy, but what advice would you give to females wanting or interested in the field of masonry?
I would definitely say my advice is do it.
Exactly.
Just do it.
Just go for it. Like, I tried it in high school. There's so many places you can go to get training, or even reach out to me. I can be a resource to you to get connected to people. But just go for it, because there's nothing stopping you. I know so many people. I've met so many women on Instagram because, I got out there and I was like, where are the female bricklayers? And I found them. Nice. There's so many out there. There's so many more than I thought. Like, I thought, oh, I'm going to be like the only one on this platform that like knows anything about bricklaying. That's a female. But no, there's so many out there that are crushing it in the industry that, that can be an inspiration to you, that would help you. So
yes,
I know. Just get out there and do it. Just try.
So I did remember, and it is not a question, it was a statement. I was watching several of your Instagram videos and reels, and you are an artist. So all of you that are thinking about this as a trade, if you are artistic and creative, you would love this role. If you get on her Instagram page and you see how she intricately makes those bricks look perfect with just a little bit of effort, it's pretty impressive, and it's very cool to see. So that was one of the reasons she caught my eye, and I wanted her to be on the podcast. And Angela, I sent Angela the link, and I'm like, we got to have her on. And anyway, really excited about your future, Ashton, and thank you for making such a big difference for our trades and the industry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I try.
Yeah, thank you, Ashton. If you'd like to share, we're going to wrap it up now, share with our audience and, how to get in touch with you, how to find out more information, maybe even grab those great resources from you.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have Instagram, That Masonry Girl. That is the most useful, most popular way to contact me. Through messaging, I have a Facebook page, which I don't have messaging set up, and then TikTok. But yeah, just reach out to me on Instagram, because that's like the easiest form of communication that I have.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love Instagram Messenger. Thank you, everyone, for joining Women Talk Construction today with Christy, and Ashton. Of course, we always love and enjoy these conversations, which are inspiring, and they, pose a challenging question for everyone. And then also they give fresh perspectives for us all to remember. So don't forget to follow, share, and review us. And if you love this episode, of course, give it a great like. And we'll be back soon with more voices in the field. And but until then, keep building confidence and community and building our communities.